So I watched the most recent episode of Under the Bridge on Hulu. I think the main takeaway from this episode is a human and the sum of their entire lives only worth their worst act? I know there's a better way of saying that. The sum parts of a life, do they add up to the worst thing you ever did? There's definitely a more eloquent way of saying that. Will you be remembered for all the good things you did if you then made the decision to do a terrible thing that you become infamous for? For example, if a man works 20 years in a hospital, he takes care of the children, he volunteers every single day, he brings donuts, he loans money to the nurses, he drives people home, he supports every area of the hospital in any way he can. Everyone knows him as a great guy. He's kind, he's loving, he's a family man, he's a delightful human. One day he comes home to discover that his wife has left him for her pickleball coach. I don't know. And he's filled with rage and shame and embarrassment and anger. And so he decides to burn the hospital to the ground. Will he be known as the great guy that he was for 20 years, or will he be known as the monster who burned down the hospital? It's an interesting question. And so when Rebecca says to Warren, I want people to remember your heart, I want people to remember you, that you're more than just this mistake that you made. And Cam keeps correcting her and saying he didn't make a mistake, he made a choice. He made a decision to do something. Now, granted, in Warren's case, he's a child. This kid's what, 13, 14? He's a child. But he still made a choice. He made a decision. On a terrible day, on an awful day, in a hard life, he made a terrible decision for which he will be known forever. So it's interesting to think about in a sort of existential way. You do years and years and years of good, and you do one bad thing. Or if you do years and years of bad things, and you do one good thing. I don't know, I struggled in the courtroom when they showed Rebecca hugging Warren, and then you cut to Rena's family. And this is a family who's gone through great loss, great suffering, and believes this person is helping. This person is writing a book about their child, and she's hugging the person who helped do it. That was rough. That was a rough moment. And the idea that Rebecca just has like zero emotion about that, empathy, I don't know what it says about her. She's an interesting character. I wonder if the real writer is like that. How do you feel about Warren? Would love to know. Where do you stand on all this?